15 minutes late.
I know.
What it is, y'all? Long
Yep.
time no see, no hear.
But we're back. We're back, America. Saturday Night Live. Well, you don't need to see me for the mantra. Yeah. Here we go. Tonight is the revelation of the divine spark. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty power, so of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light, from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we all now will and commanded to be. Now, being and becoming an active force of higher consciousness and an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now. Being and becoming the great primordial dragon god sign Kundalini flames now, whirling and ascending up our spines from our root chakras to our central heart chakra, all the way up to our royal crown chakra, igniting our royal crown chakra, illuminating our first eye, our Lord Amunel dragon, our hidden priestly grand master magi dragon god son king and queen, igniting all of the 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial dragon god son kings and queens, and all of our legions of 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 armies 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 of armies. Now, will all of the powers, all of the forces, all of the elements, all of the essences, all of the dark matter, dark energy, and ethers ruling the entire omniverse, earth, and physical and spiritual matrix and heavenlies within the absolute all, into being and becoming all of our will servants, serving all of our wills, objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallizing them all into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Now, coming down as the unlimited energy that we need now to overcome and defeat all of the obstacles in our ways, completely dissolving all of our problems, worries, lack, and fears into nothingness. Now, manifesting into our lives as the substance that we need to rebuild our lives into the proper order and law that we will and command and desire our lives to be, as we only affirm the positive abundance in the absolute all, as an eachness of oneness in the absolute all, manifesting into our lives as divine love, peace, harmony, vitality, love, and the abundance of prosperity in the absolute all, enriching our lives and the lives of all that is around us, protecting us from the evil of human thoughts and deeds, neutralizing all of our enemies, bringing all out war, judgment, death, and total destruction upon the evil, soulless, counterfeit spirits, the robots and ignorant walking dead, and their God and their God, the demiurge, and its archonic forces, enslaving and feeding off of the divine spark, the Kundalini race, and all of the deities aligned against us, enslaving us in grotesque matter to be reborn, live, suffer, and die over and over until now, as it is our time to rise up to conscious unity as they all fall, as all out war, judgment, death, and destruction is upon them all, as we all now will and commanded to be, through the power, force, and might, will of the great nothingness of the almighty power, so the great nothingness of almighty love, the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being to become realized into realization, actualization, and form as we all now will and command it to be. Abracadabra, Ashe.
Presto chango.
Mm-hmm. Crown chakra day libations. Aim to nothingness, Ashe. Aim soft, the infinite, Ashe. Aim
Ashe.
soft or the infinite light, Ashe.
Ashe.
Adam Captain, Atikiana. The ancient of ancient, the most ancient of days. I recamp the big face, the primordial Christ, Ashe.
Ashe.
Absolute emanations, the supernal holy universe manifesting as our holy divine infinite magical names, the cosmic Christ, Ashe. The
Ashe.
great abyss of gnosis, the crown of Zeramp and the small face, the indwelling Christ, Ashe. Berea, form, creation, and paradise manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical dark archangels and demons within us. Yetzirah, formation, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical orders of dark angels and demons within us. Ashia, the actual physical world in the making, the universe of action, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical earthly kingdom. Ashe.
Ashe.
Yeshida, the holy divine infinite magical spark, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical will. Ashe. Heya, the holy divine infinite magical life force, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical desire. Ashe. Neshama, our holy divine infinite magical holy soul, heavenly soul, manifesting in us as a holy divine infinite magical heavenly thoughts. Ashe. Ruach, our holy divine soul, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical words spoken through us. Ashe. Nephish, our holy divine earthly soul, manifesting into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Ashe.
Ashe.
Kether, the supernal crown. Ashe. Hakma, wisdom, the supernal father. Ashe. Bana, understanding and intelligence, the supernal mother. Ashe. Nath, the great abyss of gnosis. Ashe. Hased, mercy. Ashe. Gavura, judgment. Ashe. Tiferet, beauty, Ashe, Netzik, victory, Ashe, Hod, glory, Ashe, Yesod, foundation, Ashe, Malkut, the kingdom, Ashe, the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the primordial cosmic flower constantly blooming the absolute all into being, Ashe.
Ashe. Empress Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Definitely. Order out of
Ashe.
chaos. Ashe.
Ashe.
Beyond gods. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ma'at. Ashe.
Ashe.
All the gods is known and unknown. All the gods known and unknown. Ashe.
Ashe.
Yeah, man. Gotta,
Yeah.
we gotta stay heavy on our rituals right now
Yeah. Oh
because
man, four corners. I know, man. So they said that that fight was a major ritual.
oh yeah, it definitely was. Definitely was. Also the election itself. The
Oh
election
shit!
was a
No.
major ritual when all these
Yeah, that was.
states turn red all of a sudden, right?
Yep.
With
Mm-hmm.
the Kundalini flame rising,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when that
Yeah.
Kundalini flame rises, it shuts down everything because it's like a phoenix rising. It's like the cinder, the cindering of all scorched earth type fire.
It's a purifying fire.
Yes.
It yeah. It burns away the impurities.
So, and then the all the blue states had less blue. They had less blue states, right? The blue representing the heart chakra. I mean the throat chakra.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was
Well, no,
original.
actually, the blue is the red is the head chakra. Turquoise is the throat chakra.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's turquoise. It's blue, but it's a turquoise blue.
Right.
The head chakra, uh that's pretty much navy blue
Or purple
or
or
royal.
purple. I thought that was the
Purple is the crown. Purple is the crown chakra.
well. These energies are cultivating themselves inside of the people, whether they are conscious of it or not. And
Well, it's happening in the planet. I mean, with all the solar flares that's going on, because we're going into the solar. Well, we're in the grand solar maximum, and we're going into the sun age, which is the golden age, coming out of the iron age. So this is where the frequency. I mean, not frequency, but the friction coming out of one age and going into another age. So we're meeting frictions like coming into, coming from outer space and going through the atmosphere of a planet. And you get all that friction, everything heats up. And then once you break below that, you get into the atmosphere, then that shit goes away. Once
that
we
that
get past,
that friction is actually global warming. What they're calling global warming. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, well, that's because the Earth Kundalini is rising. And as the Earth Kundalini is rising, our Kundalini is rising. The Earth is the one that's getting ready to make the big jump. It's just that,
I think it
you
already
know,
did. I think it already did, but it's like once all collective consciousness. I seen a good movie that spoke on this too with the new X, not the new, well the most recent X-Men movie. Um, if I'm not, oh, with Apocalypse.
Apocalypse are, well, the recent, I think, is the Eternals.
No. The most recent one is Dark Phoenix. I'm talking about the X
The
Men.
Dark Phoenix.
Talking about the X Men world, the
Oh,
X
the
Men universe.
X-Men. Yeah, not,
Dark
yeah, I get
Phoenix,
them mixed up.
right? But the last one before Dark Phoenix was Apocalypse, and I watched that recently.
Apocalypse. Yeah,
Apocalypse,
okay. Yeah, I
right?
saw that.
And it was going into how because Jean, the Dark Phoenix, she become the Dark Phoenix later on. She didn't even realize she was the Phoenix or this entity that had the Phoenix power and shit, right? This
I
was the first
she.
episode where she revealed that she was Phoenix.
Oh, Dr. Xavier and Magneto. They both knew who she was when she was a kid. They were
Oh yeah. They
they were
had glimpses, they had visions and everything because they all have
yeah
this
they
vision in that world. They have this vision of the world destroying, the whole world destroyed. That was her. That was the Dark Phoenix,
yeah they were trying to
right?
contain her. Yeah, they
Right,
were trying
right,
to keep her contained.
right.
Yeah, and give her a different
She
identity.
in that particular one, the Dark Phoenix. Look at the.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I can had a clip of it. The speech that the Phoenix gave to the rest of the X-Men was to humanity.
Mm.
To humanity. Go
Yeah.
look at the Dark Phoenix and that speech she gave when she totally took over Jean's body. She totally took over
Mm-hmm.
Jean's body. She was no more. She was no longer Jean Grey no more. She was no longer
Mm-hmm.
Jean Grey. She became totally this entity that had Dark Phoenix power. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's a good one too. But in the Apocalypse one, they were talking about the collective consciousness because there was this being who basically was an eternal. He was an eternal. He was ever. He was like just like we are. We keep coming back. right? They were talking about
Mm-hmm.
us. He kept coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And every incarnation, he gained a new power, right? And to the point where he became a fulfilling of a prophet of that prophecy of the apocalypse coming, right? And he realized
Mm-hmm.
that he was like, "Oh, I am the apocalypse." See, that's why he's saying he called himself the apocalypse, right? The end of humanity. He wanted all of these beings. Think about it. All of these,
Mm-hmm.
all of these so-called
Bad
villains,
guy.
all these
Yeah.
so-called villains, they actually
Mm-hmm.
are the ones we should be paying attention to as it pertains to your humanity and how that is the end of your humanity is the beginning of your new stage of existence.
The baddest one is Thanos when he get all six of the
Oh
Infinity
yeah, Thanos.
Stones.
See, look, this is crazy. Y'all gotta look at it in this totality, and you gotta get outside of the you got to get outside of the back and forth that they keep you in that energy of right or left. They keep you in that energy of right
Yeah,
or left, so you're not able to see
good or bad.
everything around everything. All the energies around you are not good or bad. They're just useful to a higher being, a God, a beyond God. Useful.
Well, good or bad are two aspects of the same thing, two poles of the
Exactly. That's
same
what I'm saying. When you transcend these concepts, this is what the whole purpose of transcending our humanity means. We have to not not transhumanism, but transcending the fact or the idea that we are these mortals and we have all
immortal.
the evidence that see that we have a soul and our soul is eternal.
Yeah,
For all the movies that they're showing, they're talking about you and your divine essence, right?
shit.
So
Well,
humanity's divine essence, right? So they were talking about the collective consciousness. They created that machine called Cerebro, where they can tap
mm-hmm.
into all of the mutants' consciousness and all of the humanity's consciousness, right?
Yeah,
Apocalypse, Apocalypse was able to because another part of that is a mastermind movie because Xavier is a mastermind. Basically, he
mm-hmm.
masters the mind, the psyche, right? To the point where
Yeah,
to he's able to do feats in the psychic realm that others are not able to because they're not masters of it. But guess what?
yeah.
Apocalypse too.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse was a mastermind. So what happened is he took over Xavier's mind, and because Xavier was already connected to the collective consciousness,
To
right?
Cerebral. He took over Cerebral.
He took over Cerebro. Oh, so you've seen this episode? You've seen it?
Yeah, I seen it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, he took
Yeah.
over Cerebro. He was able to tap into all of human consciousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
and we know this exists because of that Sherman resonance,
Resonance.
Sherman's resonance, right?
Frequency. Yeah.
Yes, the
Mm-hmm.
Sherman's frequency or whatever. We
Human.
know that the
Human
collective
resonance.
consciousness is actually a real thing that people are actually measuring it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's changing. It changed recently. You
Yes,
brought me
it,
up on that.
yes.
Yeah. It had a
It
shift.
changed during this
Major
election.
shift.
It changed during the election, right?
Well, yeah, there was a shift. We're on a whole nother timeline now.
We actually are. You're right. You
Yeah.
definitely are. It's like I was explaining it. I was explaining this in my lecture I was giving that day when Abdullah came on my study group.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about the different alternative realities and how right now is the perfect time to set up any reality that you want to create. This is the perfect time to do it because
Yep.
the universe basically is rehauling itself. The whole
It's
universe
like
is rehauling itself.
it's like a ball of clay. All you got to do is just shape it to your will.
Yes,
Treat
right,
it like clay. Treat it
right.
like a sculpting, a molding material.
But how do you actually shape it? What are the tools used to shape it? What do you do?
Will and imagination.
Will. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you said that. Yes, it's
Mm.
pure will. You can
The
purely
Yeshida.
into existence.
Yeshida. You must make Yeshida your highest master. The highest aspect of the soul is the Yeshida, which is the divine will
Right. Right.
and the divine spark.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we as a collective have the power to shift reality. This is why the so-called powers that be, the elite, they spend a lot of time trying to control us
Mm-hmm.
because they know,
Yeah. And
we're
they just
creating this
lost.
reality.
And they
Collectively, we're
just lost
creating
a
this
lot of that
reality.
control.
Say that again.
They just lost a lot of that control.
Right, but even the gods know. Listen, even the gods know that humanity is the key to their evolution. The gods
Yeah.
even know
Mm-hmm.
this. So
Yeah. Yeah. Because when Hemet was teaching on this, so when Tiamat, when the gods, the old elder gods, when they grew old, their children rose up to go to war against them
right,
and and take the seed that they had to start the next universe, start the next world. And they did it. The kids did it. The only problem was they weren't as mature as the parents. So the world that they created, the universe that they created, was not as pure, wasn't as formed. It lacked the maturity as what the parents would have created, what we would have created then. But now we got that seed back. The seed is in the, it's right here, it's in the first line. And the seed to the next universe is right in here. And it's in the earth too. It's called the black sun, a feminine sun. So the black sun is right in there too. So it's going to join with the white sun. And you probably seen the symbol of the black sun and the white sun together.
is that the yin and the yang?
It's something like that. It's something like that, very similar, but it's a whole nother symbol. And so they said during the eclipse, what was passing between the sun was, they said, was the black sun. I don't know, but I try to tap into that black sun in rituals or after working out when I reach a certain level where I have a lot of adrenaline going. I like to tap into that black sun and bring it up to the black dot, and then open up a vortex and just take off like a goddamn F-16.
That's why master, mind mastery is necessary in this evolution, because you're going to have to be able to, like the movie Inception is a good movie to watch because it actually is a training on how to be inside of your mind and be conscious inside of your
Mhm.
mind.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you master that, then you can't be fooled by those who take advantage of others who are in the psychic realm, because there are beings in the psychic realm that can actually
Mhm.
give you, this is what's happening right now with what we call in the matrix. It's really these entities that's creating a false reality through your own delusions of your delusion of gravity, ego. They're creating that false
Mhm.
reality in your head, and now you're living that false reality. Do you notice that most people are delusional? They can't really have a grasp on a
Tell you this.
reality homegrown within. They're
Yeah.
tapped into a reality that was created for them.
An invention.
Right. So these entities that hold these humans, and it's all psychological. That's why they spend a lot of time socially engineering us and using our minds against us with the energy. This is another way, like for example, this is another way that we cultivate the energy is our own ability to control our own minds, right? Because we're shaping and we're not only shaping reality, but we're with our minds, but we're creating our mind is a receiver of energies. So we're either clothing ourselves to those energies or we're opening ourselves up more to that energy. A lot of us are
a receiver and transmitter.
Right.
Transmit and receive.
So that visualization part of it is very important. We got to be able to visualize in our own heads and allow these subconscious programmings to put where they need to be, because you can get an overload just like your own computer. You can get an overload information. You got to be able to sift through all that information and get rid of. This is what they call shadow work, right?
Yeah.
Going through your own psychology, your own experience, and sifting through it so that they're demons. So you got to realize demons can come and take that knowledge and take that data and use it and imprint it on your brain and make you carry out duties and carry out things based on that demon. A demon ain't nothing but a thought. An angel is nothing but a thought. So these demons, angels, these demons will imprint something that they already seen in your past. There was a movie that talked about this, right? The whole movie was based on the demon would actually use their own insecurities against them. They will use their own insecurity. So this is why when they talked about in the Egyptian funeral ceremony where they weigh your heart with a feather, and if your heart is lighter than a feather, then you move on. If it's not, the alligator eat your ass.
Yeah.
Right? So what they're saying is they're not talking about physical reality. It's metaphysical reality is what they're talking about, right? Weighing your heart with a feather, meaning do you hold grief in your heart? Are you holding some type of holding some type of grief in your heart? Are you holding anything in your heart about this experience that you had that your divine spark had here? If you are,
in other words, do you take? Yeah, if this shit matters,
yes, you hold. It becomes weight. So what you said, matter. When it matters, matter. You bring density to matter by your own thought process. We bring density to matter, is what they're saying. We're bringing that density to matter by even it mattering. So Black Lives Matter was a ritual.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a
When you
setup.
look at it from a metaphysical perspective, Black Lives Matter was a ritual against you. Because now what it did was it's around that time we was becoming way more intuitive and spiritual. We still are anyway, but to encounter that, they had to have a ritual to bring us back down to earth. Bring us back down to matter.
Yep, that and woke.
Right.
This woke shit.
And remember what I was talking about last when I said the 5 reverse? It does reverse at the 5, but on the 9. You understand me? All the numbers reverse after 5. After 5 times 9, all the numbers reverse. And I just look at the nature of numbers, and I see spiritual messages in that. That's a spiritual message to the higher practitioners, those who are sincere in the heart about figuring themselves out, learning thyself, knowing thyself.
Yeah.
So I catch these little things all the time because I'm sincere. The universe sends me stuff because I'm sincere. That's all you need. That's what the love that Bobby Hemming was talking about. That love, it ain't no human attraction love. It's love on a vibrational level. Like when you at this level vibrationally, you're going to attract these entities towards you. They're going to give you these higher power, and all the entities are just aspects of yourself too. Again, this is crazy because everything is just nothing more than yourself experiencing yourself.
Rediscovery.
Right.
Yeah, because we're coming out of the Iron Age, and in the Iron Age, consciousness declined. It goes through degeneration.
Okay. Because it had a flaw in it, right?
Well, no. See, the Golden Age and the sun, and the which is the Sun Age, and the Silver Age is when the sun is closer to the second sun. We live in a binary solar system. So when the second sun gets closer to our sun and they stay stuck together, that's like a 12,000 year cycle. And that's the golden age and the silver age. And then in the bronze age, they start separating in the silver age, but they're still close. But in the bronze age, they get further and further away. And as they get further and further away, higher consciousness starts to it starts to become less dormant. It goes into non-dormancy. So in the Iron Age, it's at its most dormant level. Even though it seemed like we're very conscious and intelligent and all that shit, yes, we are, but we're at the lowest level in our evolution or in the circle, in the cycle. But we're coming out of that, going into the golden age. Consciousness is going to just go off the hook. And we're going to change forms, all kind of shit. And then it depends on how great we are in the silver age going into the bronze age. If we do the right thing in the silver age going to the bronze age, we're going to the bronze age and into the iron age. We'll still be in power. We'll be on top, and we'll be in control. And we won't allow crazy shit to go down on the planet, like what happened this time when we were in the bronze and iron age, because we had to decline, we had to degenerate. And so because of that, things were able to come onto the planet that probably normally aren't able to be on this planet.
Right. Some infiltrated the last cycle. Some infiltrated inside of humanity.
Something was allowed to be. It was allowed to be, because then it became a necessary ingredient needed for the transformation of this species into the next species.
Right. It's like how before we got introduced to the psychology of a European, we had never even we had never even thought that no one could ever think that way. Like we had never even conceived that could conceive of a thought of that nature, but they
we can go that low.
European. It became a
We
manifest
couldn't
thing.
Can stoop that low. We weren't able to stoop that low.
We
So
couldn't
we
even
needed
conceive of it. So that's what this new thing that's coming into reality now is like. What could you not even conceive of? Is what
yeah.
is what's coming. That's what's happening. Anything you can never conceive of is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, because we got to realize that even like you just talked about, consciousness was dormant, and it's not what we're experiencing is a low level of consciousness.
Yeah, very low.
low level of consciousness.
Yeah,
right? And there are higher levels of consciousness, right? When you when they explain how dark consciousness, or when they explaining how dark consciousness operates, and how it's not consciousness like we regularly understand consciousness to be. This is what we're into. So things are not going to be as familiar to who we were. It's going to be less familiar to who we were. So this is what you got to adjust your thinking as right now. You got to adjust your thinking. It's not, so it's the thing that you have been spooked out about. You need to go do some more research and learn how it won't be spooky anymore. You have to, because things are going to happen, and those who get spooked out are the ones who are going to fall for the bullshit.
What if they wake up one day and they find that their whole form changed and they look like a monster to them, and they just go crazy?
Well,
because the DNA is shifting.
What happens?
We're gonna
go ahead.
We're not going to stay the same shape. Our DNA, the higher DNA, what they call junk DNA, is coming online. And as we go into this grand solar maximum, the solar flares are going to become more and more and more powerful. And it's going to have a major, major change to everything on the planet, including the planet. Things going to come online in the planet. You're going to see new creatures, big giant monsters. It's gonna look like Monster Island on this motherfucker, man. Okay.
This is the thing, though, brother. When I was talking about this new reality that we're in right now, there are things, those things that we didn't see in the old reality, they were already there. They were just into a lower frequency. We're entering into a higher tone of that frequency. So at that higher tone of that frequency, our consciousness is tuned into it now. So we can see things that were there all the time.
See, like the things that are dormant. Okay, let's go into the Necronomicon myth. Okay, how this Lovecraft's vision is so fucking unique, and how all the black conscious, everyone in consciousness, this is drawn to this because this plays is talking about us. It's talking about something that's been dormant inside of us, that lies dormant under the sea, that sunk in a city long time ago, the city of Rayleigh. That's the subconscious mind. That's the deep subconscious mind.
Right.
So Cthulhu is like an octopus with all these tentacles. All right. Those tentacles are like these things in our mind and our brains coming to life. All those tentacles are connections coming back online. The old connections coming back online. The great old ones waking back up.
Right.
The Necronomicon.
The only problem is that's a mythology that Lovecraft created to hold the archetypes, the spirits that are emerging out of that energy, out of this evolution. He created a mythology to hold those archetypes up, to hold those spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why it's important for us to create them. This is why I got the Beyond Gods. These are mythos.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The Beyond Gods and the Order Out of Chaos beings. Right? This is a part of a whole mythos that I already created in my head already. Right?
Those being one of those, let's say if we were that being was to wake up within us and come online, we would be unrecognizable after that.
I mean, your humanity wouldn't recognize it, of course, because it's beyond conceptualization of you. Anything, the humanity is always a cocoon for something greater within. So it's inconceivable to your humanity. You don't even want, you are right now, we are far beyond what we would conceptualize as humanity. We are far beyond that. And I'm not talking about in a physical sense. I'm talking about spiritually and spiritually and mentally. No, we're not humans. We are humans.
No.
We humans. But we are something beyond that too. We are multidimensional in essence. So that's when you dig and dig and dig and you open in these caverns. See, most people haven't even opened the doors inside of themselves yet. They haven't even explored the labyrinth of themselves. You are a labyrinth. You are a maze. You got to go through yourself. You got to discover yourself. This is what
they got to peel off the outer layer.
Right. This is what the whole order is about. Right. They're trying to discover us. That's the whole point. They're trying to discover us. They're trying to look. Let me tell you what the whole Masonic order is about. They're waiting for the prophecy to be fulfilled so that we can give them the next order. That's all they're waiting on. They're waiting for, and I'm not talking about just. I'm talking about the evolved us, that self-realization, that self-realized self, right? They're waiting for our next order. What is the next order? Because all they are automatons. We are these beings that have been doing this for. Like when in the more science, they talk about man. There is no time when man has not been. So the time come when man has not been a time when man will be like we have done this. This is nothing. Soon as you start, see your humanity gonna kick in a lot of times. This is what happens. Your humanity kick in and be like, you're just a mortal. They're constantly they always constantly trying to perpetuate that psychology in your head too. Oh, you're just a human. You're just a human. Okay. But the human has a spark within it. What is that spark? What is that spark? What is that
divine spark? The Yeshida. It's called the Yeshida. The Heya. The Neshama. The Ruach.
Do you notice that when you speaking on high levels of self-realization it is just knowledge of self. All I'm talking about is knowledge. I've done the research of myself and I'm discovering myself. So I'm speaking to you as I'm discovering, right? Most of the time, people, because of their low self-esteem, humanity is low self-esteem, misery. So everyone want to bring you back down to that vibration. Oh, you successful. They start talking about, so if somebody pull a gun out of you and kill you right now, and start talking all this, like, that's not what I'm saying. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because they stuck on some sick shit.
Right.
They on a low level.
Basically, it's a vibration that they're in, right? And they want to bring you. It's a misery vibration. They want to bring you into that misery that they're in because they haven't figured it out. But soon, and you can tell that they're dealing with demons and other beings that's around and they're sucking them. When you can't evolve beyond that, you're trapped. They're sucking you. They're sucking your spirit, your energy. So you can't evolve. You can't get what I'm saying.
No, you don't have the energy because
they're
being drained out.
They're sucking you right now.
Yeah, so the energy you need to be able to understand higher,
right? These
understanding of self.
These people got all type of parasites on their ass, spiritual parasites, not even physical. But spiritual parasites on their ass right now.
That's because brother Panic, may he rest in peace, but he hit the hammer on the nail. He said, "You motherfuckers are nothing but a food source."
That's it.
The filet mignon. Just
right.
like that.
And it's why? Why are you a food source? Because you don't believe in yourself.
So your mind, your garden is open for whatever to come in and take over.
Man, it's all type of things occupying these people's heads right now. Like,
they'll come in and grow.
Let's explain why mastery of your own mind is so important in your spiritual evolution.
Yeah,
the
mind, your mind is a garden.
The mind is the facilitator to your spiritual growth. Your mind is facilitates the whole operation. Your own mind.
It's a garden, and you got to plant the right stuff in it.
Right, exactly. That's it. Oh, we just said the same thing, but you just used a whole other metaphor.
Yeah.
So I use the metaphor of your mind. Your mind is the facilitator to development spiritually. Is the facilitator to your evolution. And you said mine is like a garden, and you plant whatever you plant in that motherfucker is what cultivates.
That's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was telling my daughter yesterday. I said, I hear you listening to this type of music all the time, right? And I'm not talking about not listening to it. I'm just saying, recognize that it's a program, right? Recognize that they created that frequency, not only the music, but whatever they were saying is these are double frequency. These are double attempts to influence your psyche and influence your spirit. On the other hand, right? So I'm saying, just be aware of it. I listen to that shit too. I'm very aware.
Yeah.
You got to be very aware of what's going on around you. That's how you don't fall for the shit. Most people get caught up in it so much that they just become naive to the whole thing and just fall, just music. Okay. But guess what? They have a ritual that they conduct to put that music out to you before they put that music out.
So they get you to manifest the things that they need you to manifest.
Thank you.
Get you to manifest the way they want you to manifest.
Thank you.
And if you manifest the way they want you to manifest, they stay in power.
It's strictly through the subconscious programming, right? That's another thing people are not aware of. Your subconscious mind, right, is a quantum phenomenon. It's a spiritual phenomenon, and it actually is a part of facilitating your continue to be a food source for another higher being, or continue to be on your evolutionary journey, right? So your own subconscious mind is being either used against yourself, or you can use your subconscious mind for your own benefit, your spiritual benefit.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
in other words, you let these other people come into your garden and take over and start growing the shit in your garden that they want to grow.
Right.
And start producing the fruit in your garden,
See,
which is your mind,
that's
that
crazy.
they want.
Okay, let's even go further, right? Once they plant inside of your subconscious what they want inside of your mind, that becomes reality now.
Yeah, but what if they start terraforming that motherfucker? Just tear down all the old shit and redo the dirt
It is
and
not.
plant the
Now
crops that they want.
you're not the original. You're a clone now of something. You're a clone. You psychologically they basically conquered your psychology now. You are not who you were prior to you being terraformed. Psychologically,
Yeah,
you are not who
yeah.
you were.
You just get
And guess
yeah.
what?
You just
That
get
part of you is still there, but it's buried so deep. That part of you is still there, but it's buried. Meaning the part that has the will to overcome whatever was conquered, that's still there.
You have to kick.
It's so deep.
You have to kick. You have to kick the old farmers out and uproot all their crops, and then redo the dirt, and then plant the seed, and get the right
It's gonna be a
seed.
lot of work you're right. It's gonna be a lot of work to get it back to its original state. Because you're a terraform. This is why post-millennium is important. Because post-millennium is a mechanism for people who have been subjected to war, right? Because you got wartime, wartime law, and you got peacetime law, right? Wartime law, peacetime law. We are look. Let me tell you. Let me explain this to you. Why are we continuously subjugated to? Why are we continuously subjugated to peace, to wartime as under? Why? Because we're under connotative linguistics, right? Where we're referring to ourselves as black, right? Blacks do not black people don't have amity with these European nations.
Well, first of all, the word black is spelled lower cap B, LACK. Okay. Black people is spelled all lowercase. Afro Americans how's that spelled?
I think it's uppercase A. Afro. That's beside the point. The point is, every under international law is promised or have the right to a nationality. Why? Why is nationality a right? You all right, man? You look like you about to die with it.
I got this incense burning. And I'm getting a histamine attack.
About to choke up a lung. But what was I just saying? Everybody has the right to a nationality. Why? Why is nationality a right? Could you answer that?
That's a good one.
What do rights do?
It gives you rights. Nationality gives you a birthright.
Okay, so what do rights do though?
Rights gives you protection.
Protection. Thank you. Thank you. So black people are not a nationality. African American people are not a nationality, so they don't have
Mhm.
protection. Simple. Y'all don't
So
have
even though,
protections. Period.
yeah,
You're vulnerable. Y'all don't even exist. Y'all don't even exist in reality because that's a construct. This is a construction that the Europeans created to continue to subjugate us under wartime law. They don't have to abide by peacetime law right now, meaning that the Moors have amity with the European nations, right? Through the treaties. Amity meaning we have peace with them.
we're not able to, we're
They
not
wait,
able or
listen to me
capable
further.
of
They have peace with us.
enforcing that.
No, look, they have peace with us. Don't act like, oh, I'm saying we have peace with them, like we afraid and we bowing down. No, those amity treaties that we had with the Europeans was them bowing down to us. Not the other.
Mhm. Well, okay. Speaking of which, most Europeans don't even know their own history, well as us people of color or us melanated people. We definitely don't know our history. So the history that we all been taught is definitely a fake history, and I can explain that by sharing some of the information that I've gotten off of the Moroccan Pulse, listening to certain individuals that I would suggest all people who are listening to this program should go online and check out. Okay, and this is called From Moor to Blackmore. Now, from Moor, Moor is capital Moor, and Blackmore is a small black or a small b, and capital Moor or capital Moor, and then to Blackamoor, and that's all lower caps, Blackamoor, and then from Blackamoor to Black. Okay, so from Moor to Black, Blackmore to Blackamoor to Black. The forgotten Moorish power and the burial of the Moorish nationality. On the back cover of Moorish Masonry, on the back cover of Morris and Masonry, Part 1, we have quoted by Robert Davis, professor of Italian Renaissance history at Ohio State University. It reads, the enslavement of Europeans does not fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization, which is essential to scholarship of the early modern era. Professor Robert Davis written several books dealing with Moorish captivity of Europeans and Moorish power during the 15, 16, and 1700s. The enslavement of Europeans equals Moorish power. The European history has not been taught in schools. These quotes, unquote, American scholars make the claim that only white people's history is taught in schools. That's a false statement, and they're not they're not white people. European history is not taught in the schools. European history, what these African scholars are calling white people, history is not taught in schools. That's a false claim. Moors and Masonry, Part 1, disproves their claim. They were white, they were slaves by Michael Hoffman. This proves the claim. Robert Davis, uh, Robert Davis, Linda Connery disproves these African scholar claims. They only that only white people history is taught in the schools. Their history is not taught in schools either. That's a false claim. So our history is not taught in schools, and their history is not taught in schools. Did you learn in the schools that we, the Moors, enslaved the Europeans? This is not taught in any regular school because Robert Davis class is an elective class. So he teaches the history in school at Ohio State University, but that's not part of the United States history class. That's an elective course that he teaches.
Right.
So to make it very clear.
Can I interject right quick? The
Mhm.
reason that is because what we call in the United States of America, that's a brand. They have certain closures on certain information associated with it. It's just like how they would deal with the COVID. You couldn't
Mhm.
speak on the COVID in a certain light because they had already patented the whole narrative
Mhm.
associated with the brand.
So they did that
That's
with
the
the
same
history.
thing with the United States. That's why
So they did that with the
they
history.
can teach it. They can teach that more science, right? But it's an elected class,
Uh-huh.
so they gotta.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're trying to keep their employees indoctrinated with the brand historical
Mm-hmm.
narrative,
Mm-hmm.
right? And everybody
Okay.
is
So
choosing
that way
to use the brand. Go ahead.
they can pull off all the shit they pull off. Okay. So to make it very clear here again, European history is not taught in the school. What African scholars call white history is not taught in the schools. And that's what Linda Congney, Christian Woodward, Robert Davis, Nabid Natar taught. The history of captivity of Europeans was a major issue with the Dutch Republic, among France, among the Irish, the English, the Swedish Republic, the Portugal, the Spaniards. This was a major, major issue. You had two you had two captivity orders established. One in the 1198 or 1198 called the Trinitarians, and the Mercedarians established in 1238. They raised millions over a 600-year period and freed hundreds of thousands of Europeans out of captivity. This was a major issue. This was not taught in the schools. They were white, they were slaves by Michael Hoffman. He showed state records where you had Irish and other uh, you had and other Europeans. Moors and Masonry, Part 1 by Peter Wilson Colvin. Immigrants in Chains and Immigrants in Bondage. There, there were over 50,000 Europeans that were bounded and chained. They did not come over here. They were transported. They were parked like sardines, bonded in chains. Their history isn't taught in schools, and neither are ours. That's a false history. So it appears that their history isn't taught in schools. That's a false history that chronicles European power when they didn't have it at the time, because that is to suppress our power. So they had to suppress their enslavement. So to get across this transatlantic slave trade claim, so they couldn't maintain European colonization and conquest of our land without our challenging them. So since we don't know who we are and don't know that we are native to this land, they have no challenge. They have no strong challenge among the native Moors, because millions of the native Moors have been indoctrinated into believing that they are descendants of people who were transported from the continent of Africa to over here. So once again, the enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general thing doesn't fit the general thing. To understand what that means, what does Robert Davis mean by that? The enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization, which is central to scholarship on the early modern era. So when you're talking about the enslavement of Europeans, you're talking about Moorish power. Why? Because Moors are the ones that enslaved the Europeans. Mercenarians and the Trinitarians was established in 1198 and 1238 to raise captivity, redemptive orders, to raise finance, to redeem the paid ransom and redeem Europeans out of Moorish captivity. That was the purpose of being established. That's
right. I love that. I love
There's so much
the
more.
whole premise of the whole book is to show Moorish seafaring power during the 16th and 1700s. That's the only, because I notice when people hear stuff, they don't hear stuff to understand. They hear something to react on biases that they've been indoctrinated over years. Because people get emotionally attached to.
They have determined the lies that
I don't know what's going on, but
really,
I know. But whatever. People are emotionally attached to what they think is right.
Yeah.
So when you
what they've been
present
taught is
information,
right.
when you present new information to them, they're reluctant to just accept it, and even they're reluctant to even do their own research on it, or do their own follow-ups on it. A lot of times,
because our information appears as weeds in the garden that they already have.
Right. Okay. Because those weeds interrupt the delusional narrative that's comfortable for them, that appears to be comfortable for them at the present moment. But we're bringing. This is what we mean by paradigm shifts, right? Because it's a concept called linguistic genocide, right? Meaning they basically killed us. They genocide us through linguistics.
Yeah, well, through linguistics, we kill our own selves by denouncing our nationalization.
No, you right, because we engaged in the psychological, the psychology of the when we participate in the construct on how it's been presented to us. When we participate in the construct, when we don't correct it and do the etymological correction, the etymological corrections, then we fall victim. We fall subject to that genocide. We fall subject, but they originally knew how to scientifically remove us from our birthrights through words.
Yeah, and then we pass it on to our children.
Right.
And pass it on to their children.
But now they don't
and
have to.
It goes from generation.
Right. So we maintain the plantation through our own psychology, and then giving that same psychology to our children. We maintain the plantation. We maintaining right now. We so-called black people are maintaining European colonization on Moorish land. We the ones doing it.
And the black scholars.
Because we continue to engage in the constructive language that was meant to psychologically psych us out and take us out of the original intent of the word, original intent of the ancient understanding.
And guess who's helping? Black scholars.
They are. You're right. Because they know better. We're going to do all we're doing is present the etymological critical analysis, an entomological critical analysis. They know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, we're going to take it back. We're going to use the modern way we're expressing ourselves to articulate our situation as a people, and we're going to deconstruct it.
I put it to you this way: if you keep it black, you're gonna keep us enslaved by keeping it black.
All I say is deconstruct it in your mind. Now, just observe it from an analytical standpoint, from where you understand that black is an adjective, right? And it cannot identify. When you
No,
call yourself, you're not identifying yourself. You're describing
no,
who you think you
you're
are, and you're not even
describing.
describing because we're not black. This part of us that's black is our culture that may be considered black because it's unknown to the rest of the world, but we are not black.
Yeah, so now you're erroneous. You're in error. You're at
Well,
error.
we have to put things in proper context. We are not black socially politically. We are not black socially politically. We are not black based on the ancient understanding of jurisprudence and how it affects the modern world today. Right? How it
Mm-hmm.
when we call ourselves Moors, we understand ancient jurisprudence.
Yeah. You see, and even in the Bible, like before the King James Bible, they were calling us. They
Black
went
Moor.
from Moor to Black Moor, and then in King James, they started calling us Black Moors, and then eventually just Ethiopians.
Okay, so this even go there, right? Because I can go into the science on. Okay, so if they was referring to us as Ethiopians, that was just another
Mm-hmm.
substitute for it too, though. Why? Because what is Ethiopia in the Bible?
Ethiopia.
Yeah. How did the Bible refer to Ethiopia? I know it probably mentioned Ethiopia, but what was it called in the Bible?
Palestine or well, not Palestine, but
No. Cush.
Kush. Oh, okay.
Yes. That was well, Cush was the overwhelming ruling state that ruled in that area that was called Egypt and shit. That was Cush, right?
Uh-huh. Northern Africa, northeastern Africa.
Right, Cush. That was all
Mm-hmm.
referred to as Cush. The Bible even mentioned Cush,
The Cushion
Cushite,
Empire.
right? Well, Ham is Cush. I mean, not Ham. No, Ham is Cush. Cush is Ham. Well, they're related, basically. So Ham is Cam.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? Ham is Cam, basically. It's Kemet. These are the Egyptians, right? They were related to the Hamites or the Kemites.
Oh, okay.
Right? So these are all names that are mentioned in the Bible. But my whole point is the linguistic genocide is how they got us. Because they've made us operate in a sense that's diametrically opposed to our political best interests. We are operating in a politically negative operation. We're not operating in a positive operation. Why? Because we will be attaching ourselves to what is protecting us actually, not just these half-ass, like you just said, the so-called black leadership actually are behind it. They are the ones that's setting you up right now by even continuing to play this European game of referring to us as black. For them to continue
They're
to
working with the Europeans.
so either you talking about Dr. Ben, which he even admitted that we was more. So I wouldn't give it to Dr. Ben as much, but he still kept referring to us as black though. Whether it's Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan, whether it's they still continue to refer to us as black. They're selling you out. Period. I'm just being real. I don't care how much. I don't care how much you want to try to make it seem like, oh, it's irrelevant. It's not. We're playing semantics. Well, this is how the Europeans kicking our ass with semantics.
Yeah. As long as we're not the people that are on the treaty that they bowed down to,
Right.
then they don't have to fucking.
They don't have to adhere to it.
No.
Not in the sense of as they refer to us. We calling ourselves black.
Yeah.
We're disqualifying ourselves from even being in the party to it. We're not. Black people are not a party to the treaty.
And so we're putting that. Yeah. So by calling ourselves.
Black people are not a party to the treaties. I don't care if you. Oh, I'm a Moor too. I'm a Moor too. No, you are politically operating as a black person. Right? Your political allegiance is in limbo. You haven't because there's the article in the treaty that says either I think this is a protection of Morocco treaty, the protection of Morocco, right? It talks about how you either you leave in Morocco for a period of time and you decide to give up all of your protections of Morocco, then it's a process basically that you're going through. Black people are going through that process right now where you're relinquishing your rights over your protection of Morocco. By continue to refer to yourself as black, you're going through a political process of saying, I am relinquishing my protections of my political mother, Morocco.
Oh shit. Damn. And then
you
well, there's going to be
a refugee now. You are a refugee. The United States of America look at black people as refugees, right?
Yeah, now you're under subjugation.
Right. When you have a refugee status is you are second class citizen in any nation that you become. They give you amnesty. They give you amnesty. They give you amnesty. So you become subject to the amnesty laws of that nation. That's what black people are under right now. They're under amnesty. You know what I'm saying? That's your status. Right? Meaning you're a second class citizen. You would get no more than second class citizenship in this country forever.
So in other words, us melanated people, us native people to this land, all of us people that are native to this land, that are conscious of who we are as Moors, are unconscious, we all have a choice to make. And we either can choose our freedom and liberty by reclaiming our nationality and our true birthright, or we can choose to be under the rule and subjugation of someone else forever.
Well, the thing about it is that decision is not a hard decision when you understand the overwhelming protections that you have that are superior to the protections you would have under the United States government. This is to me, I'm thinking if you doing anything in the best interest of self, right? Why would you choose to be subjected to inferior law when you can subject yourself to superior law? Don't make sense to me, but each his own.
Yeah, that means you're obligated to that $30-something trillion deficit.
Ooh. That's another.
And all the other guys.
Look, we can go all day on the benefits of claiming your Moorish heritage, and you know how put it like this: if we could ever just have a critical mass of our people recognize that there are Moors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Political ramifications are great, not only to us, but to what we call the United States of America. Imagine we have a critical mass of a population of voters, because this is one aspect of what a state, a pre-existing state, has to have a
Then
population.
we have the right to exist. We
This
have
is
the
what they
right
have.
to
They have
exist.
to have. Look, this is one a component of what the international law says. A state, a pre-existing state coming back into post-millennium, they have to have a population of voters. And this population of voters have to have allegiance to that political body, that political mother, which is Morocco. So you will have to pledge your allegiance over there. The benefits are endless if you pledge your allegiance to your mother, your original ancient political mother. It's an ancient political mother. It's not no new state. We are the oldest
No.
state on the planet.
Yep.
This is not no new state that we're bringing back into operations.
So that means when they have the next epidemic, if you're subjugated to the United States can turn over the power to who? CDC, the fucking UN, or somebody fucking UN.
They signed a treaty with the WHO. They signed a treaty with them. Right?
Yeah, we don't got no treaty with them.
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. That shit gotta be negotiated when we come on, because at this state right now, what we're in, because we're claiming post-millennium. We claim post-millennium, meaning we're not under wartime powers anymore. When we in that mindset, when we claiming post-millennium, we're not in wartime. Because as long as a subjugated people can never free themselves, we gotta free our mind and recognize, we gotta claim post-millennium. So now they can. International law comes into play now because we claim post-millennium. What international law comes into play? The international law of those being a people who have been subjected to war and have the right to return back to the original state they were in prior to this war being conducted upon them. We hadn't put like that. We hadn't claimed this prior, so they can continue to do what they had did to us.
Yeah, and ain't shit we can do about it.
Now that we're claiming post-millennium, right? Now that we're claiming post-millennium, they can no longer subject us to the wartime law.
Yeah. Now, or you can claim being under subjugation, and so when they kill your brothers and sisters in the streets, you can do what you've been doing and just go march.
Which ain't got
and
no
keep getting
result
what you
yet.
can get.
This shit ain't got no result. All it does is the victims be hyped up and fired up in the beginning, and then they come with a gang of paper. Once it gets a momentum and it start getting popularity, or they just start sending a gang of paper at these people, and they shut the fuck up. It's like Black Lives Matter. Those original grassroots people, and they got sold out. They got caught. They got sold out. They sold them out. They gave them a game of money, and now they just sitting back in mansions and shit.
Yep.
That's what always happens.
Now you got. Yeah.
Now. Yep. I always promote and I always push this idea because people in our psychology, it's all about getting the bag, and it's all about. Guess what? The fiat currency is not as valuable as you think it is, man. It's a dead currency. If you want to get the bag, you gotta diversify your portfolio right now. You can't just have dollars. You're gonna have to have other things going on that's of value so you can diversify, man. When the dollar is so unstable, you got to have other viable sources, bro.
You need land, water source like a lake.
Look, the land water thing, that all goes back to post-millennium and us forming the government to make the claim of post-millennium, because once we make the claim through our national government, interacting government-to-government relationship, diplomatic relationship with the United States of America, they would have to adhere to the treaties now. So land is all that shit. Wealth, land gonna come right immediately after we negotiate. No, so y'all know when we speak on. Look, this is crazy because this shit. Because when we get to this point where we already got our government set up, right, and then we are established as a post-millennium pre-existing state of Morocco, and those treaties adhere now. We are a party to the treaties. Now we go to the United States of America. First, we will go to the international courts and sue their ass. Right? We're gonna sue their ass, and then we're gonna sue their ass, and then negotiate. We're gonna talk to them. Okay, do y'all want to adhere to what y'all already have agreed to, or do we want to go further? Okay, so we go to the international courts and make y'all adhere to the. Now, like I said, this is not wartime. It's not wartime conditions. It's peace conditions. We already got amity with y'all, so y'all better adhere to this shit, because now it becomes a breaking of contract issue. Now we can sue you. It's gonna get worse. What happens when you breach contract, right?
So when they breach contract with us, then they breach in contract with the entire spirit world.
Yes, they know that though. They know this.
Yeah,
they know this.
And so then the spirit world becomes our army.
They know it. They know it, bro.
And they bring on some hell of a fight retribution that they have no power over.
So a lot of brothers and sisters be talking about, oh, what army? We're gonna have an army. Guess what? Like I just
we already
said,
have an army.
We're claiming post-millennium. That's not wartime. That's peacetime. So everything we're claiming, we have every right to claim.
Yeah.
According to international law. We're not breaking any laws. We're not going against with the United States of America. Y'all can keep on operating long as y'all adhere to the treaty.
Yeah. And y'all pay y'all way.
Right, because y'all owe a big debt to us now because we hadn't been charging you tax because the government hadn't been set up yet.
Right? Yeah, not only that, not only can we take them to court, we can take all the motherfuckers in Europe to court.
Of course. We're not taking the United States of America. We're taking the United States of America to court via its political mother, which is Britain.
And the crown, Spain, Portugal, all of them motherfuckers.
All right, Spain, Portugal, the Dutch, all them motherfuckers. They're gonna have to pay.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to pay. That's the reparations.
Yeah, all
right
the
there.
wealth they gained from us.
Listen, that's the actual reparations right there, bro. These motherfuckers don't get it. That's the actual reparations. Y'all trying to get at the United States of America when it's nothing more than a granted entity with the actual the conquering sovereign. The conquering sovereign is Britain. The conquering sovereign is Spain. The conquering sovereign is France.
Portugal.
The conquering sovereign, I'm talking about they the one came over here and colonized. Not the United States.
Yeah.
United States is created just to maintain the colonization.
Yep. The corporation,
right?
baby.
That's the problem with all of the indigenous people. They hadn't been aware of this, what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
They always go into the United States of America, like, and then when you go to the United States of America, they're like, oh, they don't get it. So we can like in the United States of America, right? They so cold with it, man. They okay. Oh, they don't get it. Oh, they in the Supreme Court. They're in the Supreme Court. Oh, they still don't get it. Oh, give them some trinkets. Give them some trinkets. Right, they'll calm down. Give them a couple of trinkets.
Yeah, but we still in power though.
Because you
We still
refuse to
got the
do
land.
because we refuse to do the actual connecting of the dots of the ancient jurisprudence. We refuse to do the actual
Mhm.
connection of dots of the etymology and the epistemology and the critical thinking mechanisms that give us a right mind, and state to actually claim post millennium. We are the ones ignoring. Like I talk to my people about this all the time, and they act like it's a non-issue. Okay, it's a non-issue, right? To
Oh,
study international
really?
law and understand, they think it's a non-issue to study international law and understand their political status. What is your political? I'll be asking my people, what's your political status? What you talking about political?
I'm American, man.
Wow, that's
I'm
listen,
an
man.
American.
Just not knowing that alone, right? After an election,
Mm-hmm.
everybody talked about this election. That's all Negroes were talking about, and none of them had a grasp on either candidate's policies. None of them had a grasp. All they was in and they feeling, oh, Trump gonna be this. Trump gonna do this. Or it's Kamala, I can't do that. It's all feelings. Y'all, none of y'all have a grasp on either one of their policies, right? But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, none of y'all have an idea that right there is not going to do nothing for you politically in your political best interest. What I just said, and then what I just said about understanding your political status, that would do 10 times more than what you voted did. Just
Yeah.
understanding your political
vote. You
status.
vote.
What is so-called black people political status? What is your political status? What is your political status?
The right to not get beat up by the police.
You said you subjugated to the so you what basically you're saying you're subjugated to the same system that institutionally enslaved your ancestors.
Well, we just want to be left alone and just be able to go to church and praise the Lord. And just listen to our rap music and some oldies. We got to be able to go to church and give Bishop Johnson, throw a $20 bill in the plate every Sunday.
Man, for real.
God's gonna bless us for that. I gotta go get my blessing.
That's that man that we don't want. We be not wanting no trouble mentality is what is are you suffering too? We be not wanting no problems. Is your problem?
Yeah.
That's your problem.
We respect the white man. We respect you, white man. We respect you. You don't have to hit us on top of the head so hard no more.
Y'all motherfuckers have allowed these people to scare your ass into submission. Right?
Yeah, but when it comes to like each other, yeah, we bad and tough then.
I'll kill you, nigga.
Yeah.
I'll kill you, nigga.
You know you fucking with, nigga? Yeah. Bad and tough. Yeah.
Y'all niggas are funny. It's Comedy Central to me when I see this. This shit is the whole black community is Comedy Central, man.
Yeah.
Y'all motherfuckers is funny as hell.
You heard
what happened with these young rappers? All these young rappers, look, and this is a pattern now. Y'all don't see what's happening with y'all stupid asses. Your day is over with.
It's over.
Because the European is over with, the nigga is over with, okay?
Yeah, the coon is over.
All these goddamn indictments they putting down on these rappers now?
Yeah.
You see all these indictments? It seems to me it was all a setup from the jump. Let's get these dumb niggas some money. Let's get these dumb niggas some money. And let them play themselves out. And
we can just lock them all up.
And we lock them all the fuck up eventually. They played y'all.
Yeah.
Wow. And we supposed to be so damn cool, right?
Yeah.
They look
No,
at me
we cool.
Sharif, shut up. Shut up, Sharif. Right?
Cool fools. Yeah.
And then
Cool
these
fools.
motherfuckers sitting up here, idiots, falling for the oldest tricks in the damn book. Get your last
I know.
word, brother. We gotta go.
Well, shit. It's all been said and done tonight. Well, you know, hey, it's time to we elect our own selves here. It's time for us to make our own history. Like I said, we got two choices. One, subjugation, or two, liberation. So if you want liberation, that means you got to denounce all the shit that you love so dearly about this place and learn who you really are and where you really come from, and that this is our land. These people, they owe us, and so we're the sovereigns of the land. We're not some lower class people. No, we are the landlords here.
Yes, we are.
All right. Yeah. They own our property. Okay. You can say they own who they own Mr. Johnson property. Yeah, so it's time for us to come out with our shotgun and tell these motherfuckers, either if y'all wanna be over here, y'all gonna have to pay up or go back over there down yonder and can't be making all that noise over here.
You know what the shotgun is? Post-millennium, reversion of Moorish sovereignty, post-millennium, reversion of Moorish sovereignty, and restoration of Moorish government. That's the shotgun right there.
Yeah. And you people, your gardens are fucked up and you're not in control of the fruit that's being grown in your gardens, okay? You got a bumper crop of bullshit. So you need to fire the gardeners that you have and bring on the right gardener, which is you, and learn who you are, which are the seeds that you need to plant, and you'll grow the right fruit. And when you grow the right fruit, that fruit will only bear seed to the same thing, and that seed will be planted and grow and grow. And before you know it, you have a nice flush garden.
You just gave the true concept of soul food.
Yeah. So there you have it.
Right. There's a concept in the Dragon Ball Z universe that's called Bensu seed, right? Bensu seed, right? This is another aspect of that same concept from the spirit world to humanity. There's always a seed that can actually be planted, that can actually be a seed of prosperity and freedom, abundance, right? Remember how they talked about in the Bible, they talk about all it takes is a mustard seed to move mountains, right? That concept of seed, that concept of a seed itself, right, is somewhat similar to this new world that we're entering into. Because it's coming from that seed. Remember we talked about conceptual humanity can't you conceive? That's that seed right there. It's been harvested, right? Well, at this point, the seed is almost in harvesting stage. We almost in harvesting of that seed right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that seed is in the fruit that's in the garden.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is what we're talking about, is that the seed also represents the root, the ancestry, the consanguinity, right? So this is what we're claiming, our ancient consanguinity, right? Our shit goes back beyond humanity in the physical world, in the physical vibration. So this is what
Yeah.
we're
See,
talking about, that ancient understanding coming back to the modern, what we're referring to as the modern world, right? The ancient ones returning, right?
mm-hmm,
This is what's
mm-hmm.
happening, right? So
Yeah.
we have to be aware and mindful of who we actually are and be able to take on that. There's a power to that. There's a struggle inside. There's a struggle. They call it in Islam the inner jihad. It's going
We
on
call
inside
it
all
dualism.
of us.
It's internal civil war, dualism.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You have an internal conflict.
We all have it.
Yeah.
We all have it. No one's exempt. So
No.
the point of it is self mastery, though. Self
Mm-hmm.
mastery. That's the point. That adversity
Yeah.
makes you stronger, right? The
And
adversary,
that.
the Bible talks about the adversary is you. The adversary, which is the devil. The devil in the Bible actually means adversary.
Mm-hmm.
The adversary is you,
Is you.
right?
Yeah. So when Jesus in the wilderness for 30 days, and then he had a conversation with the devil, that's only himself.
Yes, right.
Mm-hmm.
That shadow. He did shadow work. It's called shadow work.
Yeah. Yeah. The wilderness is the subconscious mind.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's all I wanted to say. We'll be back next week, y'all. Hopefully,
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
ancestors willing.
Yeah, the ancestors are willing. But hopefully we gave you enough tonight to make it to next week and the week after. So other than that,